There is a video going around of a young woman who is crying because she got a lot of feedback. She got a lot of feedback from people in the comments, and if you haven't seen it, it's out there. I'm not going to post it, but she got a lot of feedback from people on the left, which I hate in the first place, saying that they don't forgive her and she is, she has a lot of work to do and, etc., which is all justified. You voted for this 3 times, but you don't want to acknowledge the thing that got you to the place where you voted for this 3 times. A system that brainwashed you to believe that all Democrats are demonic and they're like out to get you, and that they're going to create a totalitarian government and all this stuff that we're experiencing right now. Everything that is happening is the projection of the party that is actually creating this enslavement of all of us. But you don't want to admit that. So you're getting feedback and you're privileged, and that feedback doesn't feel very good. No, it doesn't. What I would encourage is listening to it, acknowledging it. That's where the growth is. This is a breakdown for this woman, and she gets to acknowledge what led her here. Okay. So I'm not saying that all religions are bad, but what's happening is really not doing a much service to religion as a whole, regardless of what religion. You get to acknowledge that you were brainwashed into an experience that convinced you that all Democrats were evil and that they were demonic, and then Hillary Clinton was demonic. Okay, look, I understand the buyout of certain Democratic establishment candidates. Had we had Bernie Sanders in 2016, we probably wouldn't be here by now. Even if we had had Hillary Clinton, maybe we wouldn't. I wasn't a huge fan of Hillary Clinton. She would have been much better than this. The person that won that year has 3 rules. 1 is attack. 2 is deny that you attacked. 3 is declare victory no matter what. Those are the rules, and you play by that. There is an intrinsic nature to the person who can fall for that and go, that's a great idea. Win at all costs. No matter who you harm, no matter what. So this person uses religion to manipulate. You have to acknowledge that. Okay, so there was another woman, who went to Ireland, and that video's out there too. And this woman was at a bar in North Ireland, and she was upset because the bartender asked her, who did she vote for? I'm abridging all of that. And she didn't want to talk about politics. Didn't want to have a conversation about it. There's more to the story than that. And it reminds me of a conversation, a texting conversation in my DMs with a friend of mine. This friend of mine lives in the place that I'm from. We had a very good relationship. I had a great best friend relationship with that person's partner. And I even was at their wedding. And I said, they emailed me and they said, we would love for you and your husband to come visit us at our new home. We finally got a dream home, and we would love for you to come visit. And I thought immediately, I was like, but you voted against, the Democratic Party, but in 2024, you're buying your dream home. So obviously things aren't that bad for you, right? Okay. And I responded to that email saying, I'm not going to feign niceties. I'm actually going to take my distance from you because I know who you voted for, and I don't want to have an experience with you. I'll reconnect later, but I don't want to have a relationship with you right now to the degree in which you're asking for us to come visit. which is great. Thank you. But I know what you voted for. And this person said, in a variety of different things, this person said that, he had the House, and he was in office for 4 years before, and gay rights weren't taken away. But I knew that he had other people around him that were preventing those things from happening. And whoever is in control of the presidency also has responsibility over the Supreme Court. All right? That person is going to bring in people that will do his bidding, and he will do their bidding. He is transactional and will screw you over at any moment he feels like you are not in support of him. So I communicated with them. I didn't respond to that really long text. And I just let it go. In the response, the previous response that I made to them, I said, there's going to be a time where you have to acknowledge what is happening or what is going to happen. Like we knew what was going to happen. We could see it all. And I am hoping that when you realize the mistake you made, that you will acknowledge the mistake you made and then do a back check on yourself of all the things leading up to that decision. All the people you believed, all the people that told you to hate another group of people, all the people that told you you should hate these people, immigrants, people of color, gay people, etc. You should hate all of them because they're trying to take your rights away, which has never been the case. And by the way, Christmas has always been a thing. The entire gay community are the ones who decorate your house and the malls for Christmas. We go above and beyond to play Oh Holy Night by Mariah Carey every single year, right? Christmas has never been taken away. Maybe you could say, Happy Holidays. But they use that as a fear tactic, and they think all the left-wing people are going to take away Christmas. It's not the case. It's never been the case, but you believed that. So this girl goes to Ireland, and she is asked, I think she was asked to leave or whatever, and abridging the entire story, I am, because she voted for this person. And then she's so offended. She didn't want to talk politics. The first girl that I mentioned is hurt because people are holding her to account. So if you voted for this, which you did, like, you have to understand the unconscious intention behind your actions. And you have to understand what you believed moving forward. What you believed about somebody. They say that Obama was the most divisive candidate or divisive president because he was black. They won't say that, but they think that that's the reason why he was divisive. But he pulled us out of an economic crisis from a Republican 8-year term. Now, I will say, hands down, multiple people should have been arrested and put in jail for that 2008 crisis. And no one did. And then we bailed out the banks. Too big to fail. And then all of this PDF file stuff with Epstein has been circulating, and no one thought to do something about it. No one thought. Like, I will agree with you. Merrick Garland was feckless. He was incompetent. I don't think he was incompetent. I think he just didn't do due diligence. There was an opportunity. And I will also say Schumer and Jeffries tied and bound by what's happening right now. So I will give credit to your position. And we have known that. We have been actively pursuing progressive candidates in the third party for 20 years, 30 years, and particularly in the past 15 years. The degree in which we are torn apart is represented in the call that DT made to the hockey team, the men's hockey team. And I know I'm going all over the place, but all these things are connected. And he calls them, even though the girls' team won first, he calls the men's team and he says, well, I guess we'll have to invite the girls' team. And they laugh. Look, I understand it was a height of emotion. They were celebrating. The President of the United States is calling them, etc. But the fact that our FBI, the head of our FBI, goes to celebrate with them and is drinking beer and partying it up, meanwhile we have the Epstein files, or we have all of this happening. It is a deliberate destruction of our country. He knew he lost in 2020. He knew that if it wasn't for Musk, that he would have lost 2024. And by the way, why isn't Musk being charged? I get it. And this is why I feel like we get to come together. Like, whatever you think about me having painted fingernails, whatever you think about me being an artist, whatever you think about people of color or immigrants, maybe you can just take a step back for a second. Take a step back for a second and say, hey, maybe I was wrong. I have seen American citizens in my travels abroad who have this like feeling of privilege, this interpretation of privilege as they travel. The only place that I feel like I've been to where I was held to account and respected when I attempted to speak the language was in France. They want you to at least honor their language. When I went to Colombia, I saw the results of colonialism affected 100 years later, 200, 300, 400 years later. There was a church in the middle of the community, and it was like the Catholic Church ring this bell. And every day that community in Mitu, Colombia, every day that bell was ringing in a reminder of the price their ancestors paid. Changing their names. They couldn't use their names. They couldn't practice their spiritual beliefs. They were forced into slavery for rubber, for minerals, for so you go to another country and you respect that country. And if your political beliefs and your spiritual beliefs infringe on another people's rights, then you get to check yourself. Gay people never showed up at your church and picketed outside and yelled and told you were going to go and burn. But you show up every chance you get outside of a gay establishment, outside of a gay parade, And you make it very clear. And then you say, oh, I'll pray for you. But your actions, voting, your actions do something different. So you can pray all day long. But your actions, you get to be accountable. And those of you who are realizing that you effed up, you got to go back. You got to go back. You got to go all the way back. And say, this is where I was lied to. And it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful because you believed in something for so long. I'm not saying anything against your religion. I'm saying something about your religious actions preventing other people. There are people, and the list is getting longer every day because of your action, that are no longer with us. I'd even start it with Ashley Babbitt. She was lied to and believed it. And then we can just go on and on and on. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But anyway, we got this. And for those of you who voted for this person, acknowledge that you did vote for this. And then go into the unconscious and why. Because you just couldn't vote for a black woman. And I don't care what the excuses are. They should have had a primary. Yeah, they should have had a primary. Yeah, Chuck Schumer sucks. Yeah, Jeffries is a little skeptical. Yeah, we have our own issues on this side, but every person that is fighting for your right to have healthcare and higher wages and a livable existence is in the Progressive Party. They are the ones that are fighting for you. There is no one in the Republican Party still that is fighting for you. Do your due diligence. If they tell you to hate that person because they're a woman or they're a person of color, see how you're being manipulated. So peace out.